the slide, let me know below in the comments just to make sure. But in all cases, we'll rock with that right now. Awesome. So online Forex Trading Summit. I do this kind of sometimes. I think it's been a long time I didn't do this, and I really want to do it because I see like people when they're not kept accountable, when they don't have like a monthly or a recurring thing to make them accountable, they kind of fall back and stop working hard. Okay, so this is like meant to be pushing us to work harder, and I'll give you some tips, some advice, some things that will make it easier to reach your goals. Right? How to succeed faster in trading without wasting time, because it's fine. You can succeed in trading in like 20 years, but not everyone wants that. 20 years is kind of a long time. Okay, so you don't necessarily want to have that. Like waiting 20 years to be successful. That's not that cool. So we want to shorten the time it takes for you to become successful. And over the past few years, I've been asking myself like, how can we make this process faster? How can we make this easier so that someone learning like now can achieve his goal faster? So for this webinar, I came up with 5 tips that kind of come from my 5 years of trading. It's been 5 years of trading now, more on that a little bit later. But how can we summarize this and make this really tactical, actionable for you guys to implement that? And that's going to be like really interesting at that point. So, but first, here's something I cannot stand, and I see this all the time. I've been to a lot of webinars in the past where when I was trying to learn to trade, and somehow it's always pretty much the same concept and the same thing. There's always one guy showing off and trying to show how good he is at everything, at doing things. And I believe that's kind of not the best thing to do anyway. Plus, I don't think it's really useful for people watching. Like, I could show you guys when I travel and stuff, pictures and everything, but this is not what you want, and this is not what you need, I believe. So tonight's event is not going to be about me. It's going to be more about you. And I'm going to be fully focused and fully onto you guys to make sure that we have some things that you can apply, some tactics, and some action step at every single step of the way. Okay. So if you end up this training at the end of the evening or whatever morning, if it's morning for you, and you have nothing to use, nothing to go forward with, then I clearly fail, and I'm not good at that. But I really, really made sure that this would be really tactical, and that every single step would have like an action step, so you can implement. Okay, so that's about you for sure. And if you want to make the most of it, once again, please take note, stay focused. There might be a replay, although I recommend you watch this live. We'll have a few bonuses at the end. But take notes, of course, and stay focused. That's the best. If you're having like 5 tab on your browser, bad idea. Okay, you want to be focused. So quick disclaimer: my results are not typical. You know for a fact that most traders won't be successful long term. And so if I'm going to be trading for a living or trading and doing other things at the same time, it's not typical. Most people don't do that, but you can still do it. Understand that. That's really clear. And Forex trading involves some risk. You know that for sure. All the information you use are going to be at your own risk. And on that topic, I want to introduce myself a little bit, tell guys who I am. And by the way, comment below and let me know, is this the first time you hear me speak or not? I believe for most of you, it's not the first time. But comment below if it's your first time you hear me speak, or comment if it's not. I kind of want to know. And I'll try to go more in depth or less in depth and do what I do and who I am, basically, based on that. So quick background on myself. I've been trading since 2013. I trade Forex only. I trade Forex while traveling. I swing trade. And I've been hosting the podcast, the Desire Trade podcast, since about 2015 or 16. And I got my first $50,000 trade in 2016, trading for other people. We'll talk about that later also. I specialize in trading methodology and psychology. This is what I like to talk about the most. And that's about it. So any question you guys have can comment below. And we'll make sure to cover your question, of course. Okay. So I know this is a delay, so I'll let you guys answer, and we'll get rocking with that after. Great. What's up, Joseph? Awesome. Matt, welcome. So here we go, guys. So agenda for today, we'll have a couple of different parts, and those are going to be very important. So here's how this is going to go. We'll do a quick background. I'll go back a little bit in my trading, my story a little bit more. And you guys might know my story already, but just go back quickly on it. And then 5 steps you can apply right away for accelerated growth. Like, we don't want this to take 5 or 10 or 20 years to become successful. We want to make this faster, and there's a way to do it. There's 5 tips I'll share with you, and those will pretty much cover anything you need to know tonight. And then we'll have really action step for each, like at every single point, action step that you can apply. And I recommend you take note of those. They're going to be really important and really useful. Okay, and lastly, we'll do a Q&A. at the end. But if you have any question throughout the event, as I said, you can comment below in the chat, or that might be on the right and the left for you. I don't really know, but comment there and we'll go through your question at the end or throughout the event if it's useful at this point. So here are the 5 tips. I'm giving you a quick summary right now. We'll go in detail on each of them. First of all, our relationship, strong trading strategy, planning and preparation for success, continuous improvement, really important, and smart automation. Okay, those are the 5 I like. This is just for you to kind of maybe take note, spread your note, whatever you want to do with that. But we need to dive on each of them like really, really in depth because that's gonna be important. Okay. So what I shared tonight, guys, is only based on my experience, and I don't pretend to be the smartest person, the best trader ever. But I'm showing what worked best so what worked in my experience. It might work well, might not work well for you. I believe this is really working for most people. But I just want to make sure that you understand that I don't have any clear rocket science. Like you might try it out, it might not work, although I would doubt it. But you have to do your own research at the end, and you will see that things we talk about today are kind of common sense. You can apply them, but understand this comes from my experience, and some people might do different things. I do it this way, and it works for me. Okay, so we'll just have this as a basis for now. I want to make it clear though that life for me isn't only about trading, and I'll get back a little bit in a few minutes on my story. But understand that, and here's how I've been able to develop that kind of view over time. I see myself as more an empire, and I think it's pretty limiting if you see yourself as only a trader. Okay, so I see myself as an empire, and my trading in my life and in my whether it's gonna be business life, life in general, is only part of it. Okay, and I think that's really how you build wealth overall. If you focus only on trading, it's kind of fun for some time. Right? You can focus only on trading for a few months, become good at it, understand it, make money with it, but then try to build the other things around it. Try to build more. Otherwise, it's only trading and it's just remains trading and it's not cool. Okay. So understand that there's more to life than trading, and that once you have trading built up, more doors open to you. Okay, that should be a really big reason why you want to master trading now and make it work now. Because after the doors that open are crazy. There's a lot more outside than you think now. Okay, so understand that like the doors are open, and it's not only about what you do now, just making money trading, but how this is going to help you later on in life to develop more things, to become better at other things. Okay. So that's really important. And what's up, JD? Welcome. I appreciate. So how this all began, I want to go back a few years ago when I was in, and I shared this before by email. You guys apparently all heard me talk before, so it's not new. But I want to kind of go back a little bit. So at some point, I was kind of stuck in trading. So I started trading in 2013, and things went really bad for 2 years. I didn't know what to do at all. I didn't really do much useful stuff. I was just doing random stuff in the market. And then came about 2015, where I was in Hong Kong. I visited some factories there. I had kind of a shock, and I thought I would have to do something different, make this work. Okay, and we all get to a point where like we hit this wall where like we don't know what to do, and we have no clue why it doesn't work and why we're not successful and why we cannot progress. But somehow we kind of had this feeling or this thought that something had to change. I had to do things different. If I wanted to be successful, I'll have to change something and act in a different way. Okay. And here's going to be kind of the beginning of our first lesson. Power of relationship. This is a big, big lesson. Okay. And I'll give you an example of that. So one day I saw that in Montreal we had this. There was this meetup coming up, the Montreal Traders meetup, and I was in Hong Kong back then. I said, "Well, I'll come back to Montreal. I'll for sure go. That looks like a cool event, and I can probably meet traders there. I'll probably be able to talk to some people and so on." So I said, "I'll probably go." And time came to register to sign up for the meetup. I signed up for the first one, and I didn't go. I just didn't feel like going. I said like in 2015 or 15 at that time, like we have books, we have videos, we have podcasts. There's sure ways to learn online. I can read articles and learn a lot online, and I don't have to move and meet other people. That's useless. That's what I thought at this time. And then a few months back, I signed up again for the event, or that was like a few weeks after. I signed up again for the event, and this time I went. So this was like you can see here on the screen, July 14, 2015. Okay, I was there, and yeah, so I went there. So, and here's the thing about that meetup. I actually went. I didn't effort to go there, talk to people, And guys, I'm telling you, like in one evening of surrounding myself with traders, I learned way, way, way more than about 3 years of reading books, watching videos, and listening to podcasts. Just in one evening, just in like 2, 3 hours. And I understood at this point that there was something special about surrounding yourself with people doing what you love and what you want to do, like your goals. That's powerful. Okay. And I took this even like a step further after to be able to start a podcast, to meet traders and to talk to traders. I thought to myself, what a best way to talk to traders and get a perspective and hear what they do and interviewing them. Like they get a place to share their ideas, their thoughts, and I get to learn from them. Okay. And so that's how it all started. And it just went from there. Okay, I'll give you an example with that. So at the same meetup, in 2000, I think this is like 2 years ago or 1 year ago, I did a workshop about how to trade breakout. Okay, I'm here over here. So I did a workshop about how to trade breakouts. And at the end of the event, there was a guy there that started to talk with me. And he told me he had an office, like a small office in Montreal. And he said, come like visit me, come to my office and we'll talk. So a few weeks after I went there, I started to talk with that guy. And turns out that a few weeks after that, I got $50,000 trade for my account. So he kind of give me money to trade, which is pretty awesome, right? Pretty big. And that only happened not because of like all the like the show off I made or anything, but only because of the relationship, the meeting people, talking to people, and moving forward. Okay, and that's the thing that changed the most. So that's really important. Part of relationship is really big. Okay. So here are some action steps for the first point, and that's really important to apply. So I recommend you think of like 5 to 10 people you can reach out to, okay, that can help you with your goal. People that will help you move forward. Okay, reach out to them. And then make it a habit to develop new relationship on a weekly basis. That could be like sending emails to people you want to interact with, people that you look up to, people that can help you, whoever that is. But think of those people, reach out to them, and that's gonna make a big difference in your like in your result in the end, okay? In all that you achieve after. So do this, that's really important. And I still do this myself these days. I send email every week to people I want to connect with. They might be traders, they might be different people, entrepreneurs, investors, because I want to grow my circle. And the more it grows, the better it gets, the more income I make from trading and other things on the side, and the better life is. Because you might want to do this as soon as you can and do it on a weekly basis. It's like a habit you have to build, not something that you do once and you're successful. Okay. So that's the first action step. If you have any question, comment below in the chat. We'll get to your question at the end, or maybe now. We'll see. Like, just take a few moments, let this kind of sink in. Take note if you want, and try to think of like stuff you can do. Because if you just leave, if you just watch this and leave at the end without any action step, there's a problem. Because we outline everything you have to do and everything you have to apply on a daily basis. Okay. So I want to get to point number 2. Tip number 2 I learned in 5 years of trading. It's about strong trading strategies. Okay. And I just want to give you a basic framework. This is kind of outside the scope of this training tonight. But trading, like doesn't come down to only one thing. It's not about only strategy or only mindset. It's about all 3 parts. So there's 3 parts you have to master: strategy, the mindset, and the risk. Okay. If you master only one, so you're really good at strategy, but you lack mindset and risk, it's not going to be good. Okay. If you master only mindset and not the other 2 ones, it's not going to be good either. Okay. So you want to master all 3. And the better you get at each of them, the better trading is going to be overall. Okay. So that's a really big thing. So try to think of like where you are at in different parts and try to rank yourself on those. And that's going to be like just see like where you are at and what you can work on. And then things are going to get better when we can move on to the next part. So in my first 2 years of trading, okay, or when I began trading, pretty much, my strategy was none. I was doing like random stuff. I had nothing planned. I was just entering a trade. Might be like you are right now, might not be, depending on what stage you're at right now. But that was kind of my plan, to just enter trades and try to make money. Okay. 2 years later, my strategy was like, okay, I had a strategy, I had some plan written down a lot because I was surrounding myself with traders and they helped me move forward. They helped me plan. And that was okay. That was fun. You make money with that. But you couldn't really, I think, grow a lot and evolve a lot with that strategy. Okay. A year later, my strategy was kind of strong. Okay, like really strong. And that's because I kind of learned then how to make it strong. Okay. So that took some time, took some patience, some testing, some practice. But here's how you make this strong. And this is a really simple framework. Use the word strong. Okay. The word strong here to make your strategy strong. It's really simple. You can just memorize this, apply it, and it will work wonders. So here's what this is about. S stands for specific. Okay. Have you ever tried to tell your husband or wife or girlfriend or boyfriend to go buy milk? And then next thing you know, they come back with coconut milk, and you wanted like plain regular milk, but you are not enough specific. You didn't tell them exactly what you wanted. And the same thing goes in trading. If you tell yourself, "I trade candlesticks," well, what candlestick? What pattern? What thing you look for exactly? Or you tell yourself, "I trade price action." That's even broader, right? So you want to be really, really specific, really clear cut about what exactly you trade. Okay. And if you trade indicators, what do you look for in the indicator? What are the levels? What are the parameters? What are the settings that you look for? And the more specific you are, the better it gets, and the clearer you get yourself, and the less doubts you have. And that's awesome when you get there. Okay, so S for specific. T stands for tested. Okay, I'm still amazed these days when people say that they didn't test their strategy and what they do. Crazy stuff, because you could easily test and get your data. And as soon as you test, you get your data, your stats, you can move forward and you have everything you need to be able to succeed with that. Okay, so test it, like go back in time if you want, test it on a live on a demo account, so in real time if you want, whichever you prefer. As long as you test it and get the stats, and the numbers will get with that. Okay. If you have any question, we can go in depth on those, but I think they're pretty simple and they're pretty self-explanatory. But let me know down below in the comment, of course. R stands for replicable. And this happened to me so many times. I'll get to a point where I would like backtest something. And I had actually at one point this really good strategy I came up with. Really good idea, like perfect. And the strategy was with Fibonacci. And I started to like backtest it. Results were great, perfect, awesome. Then I got traded live. And live, I couldn't execute, couldn't place the trade properly. I couldn't draw the line at the right point. I couldn't look at the chart properly. Couldn't like place the right thing, enter at the right time. So it wasn't replicable. I knew how to backtest it, but I didn't know how to replicate it, how to put it back in the market properly. And so if you cannot replicate what you backtest, big problem, like big issue here, because you don't know really how you gonna make it in the market. And unless you have a script to do this, it's gonna be very, very hard to put this in the market and to apply it properly in the market. Okay. So you have to make sure you can replicate and do it again. O stands for organize. Okay. So how can you organize your plan into maybe plans, maybe sheets, maybe checklists? We'll talk about this later also. But how can you make a framework around this? Like first it's this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then place a trade. Okay. Organize, pretty simple, it's straightforward. But if you don't do this, it's really hard or really easy actually to go and miss a step, or to forget a part, or to go to the wrong step before like the step you were supposed to go to. Okay. So that's for organize. And stands for not complicated. Okay. So if it's too complicated, like you have 5 indicators, 10 rules, 10 thing you look at, 45 like factor with the trend and stuff, it's too hard. Like don't make it hard, because a lot of people succeed in trading with simple stuff. You better keep it simple, in my opinion. You better keep it to be straightforward and short, because that is even easier to remember, and you just make way less mistakes. All right. G is for grounded, and this is kind of broad a little bit. Here's what I mean by grounded. So there needs to be some sort of like logical thing that you trade. Okay, so if you look at, let's say, the moon, and or like the position of the moon and the sun trade on that, it's not that grounded. It doesn't really make sense. Okay, so it might not work. It might work for a short term, but not long term. Okay, so you really need to be clear cut and have something that kind of makes sense to you. And this comes back to your belief. What do you believe? What do you believe about the market? You believe that the market is controlled by the moon, or you believe that the market is controlled by people, or you think sport instance and business areas are good, they make sense. Whatever you believe, but there has to be some logical statement. And then, of course, you want to go back and test this, see if it works. But once you have this, it's going to make a big difference. Okay. And this is a little bit kind of a big overview, but once you think and go through all the points, it makes a big difference. But like, don't think this is the only thing to make especially good and really strong. There's a bit of other parts that are the basics, but positive expectancy, calculate whether your strategy will make money over time. If not, don't trade it. It's pretty simple. And then risk of ruin of 0%. I learned this from Brent Penfold. Brent Penfold wrote the universal principle of successful trading. Basically, you want to calculate your risk of ruin to be 0%. So that's the risk of blowing up your trading account. Okay. If it's above 1% or above 0%, chances are over the years it kind of grows and grows and you will blow up. So not good. You don't want to have that. If it's 0%, then your risk of blowing up your account is 0%. It won't happen, probably. Okay. That's like 0% is like really, really conservative. That's a good thing. And you want to basically calculate how much you can risk per trade based on that. There's a lot of calculators online. You can do this. Just go on Google, type in risk of ruin calculator. You'll find something. It's pretty simple, and it works really well. And basically, you enter like your reward to risk, your win rate, and what you risk per trade, and you get your risk of ruin. If it's above 0%, problem here. That's like a big red dot. But if it's 0%, then it's pretty good. Good to move forward. And then tools and method you understand. So if you trade something you don't understand, like me using Fibonacci, I wouldn't be good at that. I would be really bad, actually, and things would not work out really well. Yes, that's important also. And then no uncertainty. Like if you, and here's the powerful thing with uncertainty actually. So people think that like they've kind of freak out when they're uncertain a little bit. They think that they have to get like something is wrong. And the thing with with uncertainty is that whenever you feel uncertain in the market, like you feel like, oh, I'm not sure if I should take that trade. I'm not sure if I should go in or not go in. Well, you have a way to improve right there. That's like a clear sign that you have to improve something, and you have to find a rule for this. So whenever you feel uncertain about the trade, think about like what you could do to research this and make a new rule. Like let's say today, for example, let's say I come up and I want to take a trade. It's set up perfect in the market, but then a speech happens. Okay, a special speech from whoever speaks, like a bank or whatever. And then I say, well, maybe because of that speech, I shouldn't trade, or I should just skip the day. And then I'm like not sure what to do. I should I place a trade or not? And then I say, well, okay, I'm not going to place a trade for now, but I'll research on that. What should I do when there's a speech? I might go back 10 years in the past, see the trades, the day when there was a speech, what was the result of the trade, is it good or not? And then I'll have a new rule right there. Like when there's a speech, don't trade or trade and keep doing the same, whatever you decide. But that has to be based on testing and going back in time and using uncertainty to your advantage. Does that make sense? So this is how you move forward. And guys, a lot of people always ask me, how do you find strategies ideas? Like where should I go to find strategies I can use? And it's actually, so you can do two ways. Way number one is really hard. Way number one is like you search online, try to find a website that has something good. And I'm not talking about like my website, could be any website you want, but most websites won't be really good. Okay. And they might have strategies that are really, really outdated. Or you go to a library, pick a book, and you'll find something from the 80s that worked a long time ago. It won't work today. It's just really hard because you have to really try to see if it works. And you have to test it, and usually it doesn't work. So you have to go through like tens of strategies to find one that kind of works average. Okay. Now the easy way, and this is really simple. I've done this so many times. The easy way is you go back to lesson number one. Keep our relationship. Can you talk to your trader, someone you know that knows strategies, that can tell you how he trades, and you're gonna get an ideas. Now it doesn't mean you can copy other people. That's not the point. Don't do this. It's a really bad idea. But at least you can get some ideas and inspiration from other people that you can then apply to your own trading. Okay. So many times I talk with someone, a trader, and I get an idea from something I could test and see if it works. And I might test not like I might test it, might not test it. Depends on the circumstance and whether I'm in a stage of backtesting or not. But in all cases, you get a lot of ideas you can apply. And if right now you have a lack of ideas for strategies, it's a clear sign, like clear black and white sign that you're not surrounding yourself with enough traders. And that's simple. If you have ideas for strategies and if you know like you could try this and that, well, it's probably because you're around more traders or you listen to podcasts maybe, or and that's gonna make a big difference. Okay, that's a clear sign. If you don't have enough inspiration for things to try and things to test, you're not with traders. And you really have to change this as soon as possible. Okay, go back to step number one, take note, reach out to people, and that's gonna make all the difference. And it's actually pretty simple. And oh, by the way, most people, and this is a parenthesis I want to make. When you talk to a trader who's like struggling with making it profitably, usually they're not going to give you the strategies. They're going to tell you, oh, I trade something that's magical. Like, here's the rocket science. Like, I won't tell you how I trade because it's pure, like, something secret. But when you talk to real traders, they're going to tell you, oh, here's how I trade. I do this and that. I look for this and that. And they're usually really open about what they do. Okay, that's the biggest difference I've seen. People that are trading for a long time, they are open-minded. They share what they know, and they hope, and also they can get things that they don't know, that like get other people's perspective, how they can improve and get better. And that makes a big, like, that's really huge. People that are scared about their strategies, that they might be like that their strategy might be stolen by someone else, they won't go very far because they are not open-minded. They think that they have the absolute science, and that doesn't work. That doesn't cut it in trading. Okay, that's it was before just being frustrated and trying to like chase all the secret method. That doesn't work. Okay, so if you speak with normal people that like tell you what they do, they're gonna be really open to tell you exactly what they trade, what they look for, and how they view, how they see the market. Okay, so do that. It's gonna make a big difference. Does that make sense, guys? I didn't see any comment, but let me open this. Nice, awesome. Good morning from Melbourne. Awesome, wonderful, perfect. You guys have any question? Can comment below in the chat. We are at step number 2, I believe. Yeah, exactly. So actually, step for this one, strong strategies. Okay, go through the strong model. We talked about it a few minutes ago. All the strong letters, so STRONG. Strong stands for specific, T for tested, R for replicable, O for organized, N for not complicated, and G for grounded. Go through that. Does it make sense with what you trade now? If it doesn't make sense, if it's like out far and not what you do now, well, what can you apply? Right? Try to apply it to what you do now and see what you can add or maybe remove from what you trade to make it more strong. And I'll tell you, there's a big difference between strong and average. Average is fine, can make money, but you won't make money long term. Strong makes money longer term, and you have to change it less often, and you have the mindset to trade it really easily after. Okay, because you know exactly what to look for, and you know that it's going to last a long time, and you can rely on it for sure. So, action step number 2 is I want to like try to find your circle of influence that will keep you on track of your strategy, that will give you ideas, promote you to new ways of thinking. And the more you hang out with the people that do what you want to do what you love, or that probably in your case it's trading, then it's easier, much easier. You can get ideas plenty. And it's just really cool to pick up the phone, talk to a trader, and ask them kind of, well, so what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Should I test this? How do you see things? And you get new ideas and perspectives that you wouldn't get otherwise. And you cannot get this from a book. You cannot get this from videos sometimes. And you cannot get this from just talking to people that don't trade. Okay. So you need to change your circle of influence. So does that make sense, guys? Comment below with your question. JD says makes sense. Awesome, JD. Thank you. Appreciate. And that's good. So we'll go to the other part, step number 3, or tip number 3. Actually, this is my favorite one, I think, the one that I saw the most success with. And let's go with that. So at the beginning, I used to think that I could be able to trade and just like show up at a chart and trade and make money. That was my thinking. Okay, for most people, that's how they start. They don't start thinking that, oh, I should make a plan, like be organized, do my habits every day, and then I'll be successful. They think, oh, I'll just trade, find an opportunity in the market, find ways to make money, and I'll make money. Okay, most people see this way at first. Then I started to think about the fact that they should be more organized. And I heard this advice somewhere that I had to create a trading plan. Okay, like step-by-step trading plan on how to trade. So I bought a course actually on how to do trading plans, how to organize this. And my first trading plan was kind of messy, kind of unorganized. Okay, that's what it looked like 30 pages of notes of writings on how to do things. And I just felt confused. Didn't feel like I'll be able to trade with that and apply it in the market. So I had this plan and I didn't really know what to do. I would show up to trade, I would make mistake, I would not go back on my plan because it was like too big and 20 pages, and I couldn't really use it. And then until some point, I had this idea. Someone told me this at some point, I don't know exactly where, but I got this idea of like making a checklist for myself. So I made this first checklist on what I was supposed to trade. Okay, so in that, step by step, what do you look for? This, that, then do this and that. And I would actually like check every part with the marker. Okay, I would like check each case and each boxes before trade to make sure that I would do exactly what I was supposed to do. And that makes it very simple to know whether a trade is right or not, right? So a good trade versus a bad trade. Really simple. So if you check all the parts, it's a good trade. If you didn't check all the part and you still took the trade, it's a pretty bad trade, and you want to avoid those trades. Okay. So, but that makes a big difference. And I would have this on my desk all the time. I would go through everything and I would try to apply it. Okay. And that make a big difference. Just to kind of get this, like, look at the checklist and be sure I was doing everything right and not forgetting everything. And the cool thing about this is that, like, soon enough, you get to a point where you know exactly what to look for. Like, you're a pro at your strategy and what you trade, and you can just like remember easily. Like now, I don't go through my checklist all the time, but I've been doing this for a long time, and that made a big difference. And here's a big change I make also. I made it this time. So instead of seeing myself as a trader, I began to see myself as a project manager. Okay, which means that you don't just place trade in the market every day. You have a project in mind. Your project is like taking your trading plan, applying it in the market every day or every week or whatever you prefer. And then your job is to execute right. If you make a mistake when you execute the project, it's your fault, right? And you're the one to blame. But instead of seeing like the ups and downs, the wins and the losses, the profit and the loss, like who cares? Just focus on your plan, making your plan right in the market, executing like you should execute, like a project manager will do. Like, do you think people at work, and you guys comment, by the way, if you're a project manager, I would kind of like to know, but you'll relate to this for sure. Like, do you think that you will care about whether you're hired in a company? You think you will care about like how many they lose on a day or what they do or what the results are? They don't really care. Like, just focus on doing the project, going through the steps, checking off the boxes, the steps, going through their plan, and once that's done, then they're good. They did their job, and you should see trading the same way. That's how it's like to shift over time and seeing trading the same way, not as like wins and lows, ups and downs, winning or losing, but as a project, a continuously thing that you work on, thing you can continuously. Okay, does that make sense? So that makes a big difference too. And I want to go through some plans that you can use. Actually, I'll just take a thing over here. Okay, just to make it more clear, I want to go through some example, and whether you use the same thing or not doesn't make much sense. You decide what you use, but here are some examples that I found to be really powerful. And I'll show you some example after some photos. But training checklist, really big. Discipline tracker. If you have a problem with discipline, that's really, really useful. One-page trading plan, also my favorite, pretty much. One-page trader growth plan. You might have seen these before. And then that's about it. So here's the checklist, and I've shared this with you guys. It's not an issue. I'm not like trying to put this secret or anything. So here's the checklist. Here's the discipline tracker. I want to go through this one. This is really useful when you're not disciplined. So let's say you find yourself having a lack of discipline when you trade. I created this one pager with different questions. So the top first question says, what makes me want to enter this trade? What are the factors that makes me want to go in this trade? And then below, so you write this down on a sheet of paper, ideally, it's better. And then below question 2, what makes you want to not enter this trade? What are the factors that prevent me from taking this trade? Okay. So you might say, well, it's with the trend, there's this and that, this if it's my rule. But there's like this. So it doesn't respect my Bollinger Band, for example. Okay. So, and then you say, do I respect the rule of my strategy? You write this down, yes or no. It's pretty clear cut. And then here's the most powerful part. On a scale of 1 to 10, how disciplined am I to enter this trade? If I enter this trade, okay. So is it a 2, which means not disciplined, or a 10, really disciplined? Like you rank yourself, and technically it should only be like 1 or 10. If it's in between, like a 5 or 4 or 7, you're probably not too disciplined, and you might want to skip the trade. Okay. So it's not about the score necessarily, but it's about taking time off. Like if like that, this is gonna take like 30 seconds to enter, but 30 seconds to go back, take the sheet, write down on that sheet what you think, your thought, collect yourself a little bit, and then decide if you want to do trade or not. Okay. Sometimes like the only thing we need to not take the bad trades and be disciplined is kind of a quick stop, like reflecting, looking at things, and then deciding after. Okay. And that made a big difference. From that point on, I didn't like take many undisciplined trade. That's for sure. I used to just like go in the market, place trade as I felt, and I was not disciplined until I started to use this, put this in my trading, where it's like, oh, before trade, go through that checklist, do this and that, and then like you'll just think about it twice before you enter a trade, and that makes a big difference. Because like the last thing you want in trading is to fill this out and then feel like, and then like see after the trade, well, oh, I put the one and I took the trade anyway. Okay, so why what had happened? And you don't want this to happen. That's rarely gonna happen because you took time to reflect and to go back on that sheet and to rank yourself and to analyze yourself. So big difference here. Okay. One page trading plan. I actually have one over here, which I'll show you guys because this one is kind of messy. So, and you might have seen this before. You might not have seen this before. It depends. So here we go. Here I have one on my desk. This one is empty. This is a blank template that I have. But you want to write down on this sheet of paper. So basically, I write down my goal of trading. So it could be a vision, time frame I use. Below that is the instrument I trade, the times I'm going to trade at, and then setup, entry, exit. Okay, with your stop loss, take profit, whatever. Below that is your money management. So on one page, implementation plan, how you're going to put this in the market. And once that's done, you have a full clear plan of what you trade. Okay, and that's only one page. So that's really big. Like you can just, so I put this on my desk at all times. I go back on this every time I play trade if I want. Now less, but I used to at the beginning. Kind of like a checklist. I go back, see if everything works fine, if it's what I was supposed to do. And then ideally, like if you want to get this more powerful, at the back of your plan, okay, which I don't have here, but at the back of your plan, print your best trade ever, the best trade you took, not the most profitable trade, but the best setup you took. Like you were fully disciplined, like all the rules you took were fine. Print it, put it at the back, and you have a picture, like a clear visual way of seeing your best trade setup. And you look at this every morning, powerful, like really good. Okay, and that's how you build confidence, and that's how you build your ability to stick to your plan all the time. Because you'll be addicted now to take the right trade you've seen in the back, and that you put at the back. So the more you do this, and the more you review, the better it gets. Like the more you will remember, and that's going to be really powerful at some point. Okay, so that's also a plan I have, really important. Now the next one I have, here it is. I call this my trading growth plan. Okay, threader growth plan if you want. So because we all have things, like we cannot just trade day to day and make money in for forever. We have projects we need to work on, things we need to become better at, and things we need to develop ourselves on. So here's how I do this. I basically have this page which I write my goals on. Okay, so what are my top 5 goals for the next 12 months? I write these down here. It could be trading, not trading, it doesn't matter. I do this for like life in general. So they are business goals, trading goals, and life goals. Health goal if you want. And then below here are skills to develop. Okay, so what skills do I need to reach those goals? I write down 2 skills, not like 10 or 20, just 2. And I do this first. Those are the first 2 things I work on. And the skill 1 might be whatever, creating a strategy. Okay, that's skill 1. Skill 2 might be, well, so I have my strategy to say. So skill 2 might be like marketing myself to investors. Okay, so talking to investors. And that's gonna be skill 2. And then below, what are the resources you can use? There could be website, tools, books. They could be people. There could be, videos, whatever you prefer. Courses if you want. Mentors, coaches, whatever you write these on below. Maybe 2 or 3, whatever you want. And then on the right-hand side here is strategies you have right now, okay? You might have only one. I have one right now. You might have more than one, depending on yourself. But you also want to work maybe on adding more over time. So you have 1, you have 2, you have 3, you have 4. And you write these down, the name. And for each of them, you should have a plan like this, which I showed you guys earlier. For each strategy you have, there should be a plan, a 1-page trading plan for each of them. And then below here are your top 3 focus for the next 90 days. Okay, so this is for 12 months. 90 days is like 3 months. So you have time to work on things a little bit. And what are the 3 things you work on first? Because you want to be focused. Like focus has a big power here. And the more you focus, the less yourself be distracted by other things, the better it gets, and the easier you reach your goals. That's what I've seen with time. Okay, so that's it for this part. Now below, I write down kind of what I'm going to be working on for month 1, month 2, month 2, month 3, and like step by step. So what are things I have to focus on for this month, next month, the month after, just to keep myself kind of a schedule on things I need to achieve. And at the end of every month, I'll go back, see if I did what I was supposed to do, and kind of check the thing I've done, put the things I didn't do in the next month, and just work toward my goal like this. Okay, that works pretty well. And every at least every 90 days, you want to do this again and fill it out again. Put the same goal you had here at the top, then put your next skills you have to develop. This should take like not more than 90 days. You have enough time for sure. Trading strategies, they change. Go back to your focus for the next 90 days, month one, month two, month three. And then you always have this kind of process and accountability and like checklist to go to your goals and to reach your goal faster. Okay, that's a really easy thing to be organized, but most people don't do this. Now you have the framework, you have the sheet, and that is way easier to do now. Okay, hope that makes sense. This is a big one. So action step for this part. Okay, this is step number 3. Pick the plan or pick the plan I shared with you, or create some that will make sense for your trading style right now. You could have fancy ones like me with logos and stuff, or just plain ones as you wish. It doesn't matter. It has the same purpose, the same use, and the same result. But create the one that makes sense to you. Okay, they could be different things, but these that I've shared with you works pretty well. You could replicate those or use those, and they're gonna make a big difference. And then put those sheets ideally on your desk. If it's like a way like you create something, put it in a jar, bad idea. Okay, it won't work. It's not how things work in life. So you have to print it out, put it on your desk when you trade, or if you trade on the go like me, just bring it with you all the time and travel with that plan, that sheet, and make sure you review it like every day or every week if you want, and that makes a big difference. And I've seen a big power in like putting these on my desk as opposed to just having them in like somewhere on my laptop or just like not printing them out. It's much better when they're printed on your desk and you can go back and see them all the time. Okay, and you will see like if you do this, your goals are going to be reached more faster and easily, pretty much. You have everything to work on and you have a structure around it. Much easier to reach your goal with structure. Okay, so any question about this, guys, comment below in the chat. Take some time to reflect, think about what you're going to apply from this part, and write this down below after in the comment box or in the chat. So step number 4 is a big one. This is the one I spend the most time on. I call this continuous improvement. Okay, so continuously improving myself in the market and in life and in business and whatever. Because trading is a business, keep in mind. So here's something I realized was really powerful. Average traders or good traders, they go from week to week without much thought. They just say, well, okay, this week was good. I made X amount of money, X amount of dollar. It's pretty good. It's a good week. And then they go to the next week. And then the week after is like a bad week. They say, oh, this week I lost $200. Bad week. That was pretty bad. And then they go to the next week. Well, okay, this week is this and that and that. But so, and they always go from week to week without much improvement. Always the same kind of flow of winning, losing, winning, losing. And they might make some money over time. That's not the thing. But they won't really grow and become better. They won't change. And they won't especially grow their income. Okay? Like, and it's kind of one thing to trade, but it's one thing to also grow your money over time. You just don't want to trade and have all your expenses covered and then nothing else after. That's not how you want to have life. And then here's a powerful thing. Great traders, they invest all their past experiences and mistakes in order to become better. So they take what they learned from the past week, what happened in the past week, they invest all of this in the future week. And what I mean by this is like they take the lesson from the past week, figure out what happened, what lesson they can get, and then they apply this in the next week. Okay, so then I say, well, last week was a bad week. How can I make this better? How can I improve? How can I fix this so it doesn't happen again or happen less frequently? And then the next week was good. So the week was good, for example. Let's say, well, this week was really good. What did I do well that I can apply the next week? Okay. They take note of this. And that's really crucial. So here's how I do this for myself. 2 different parts. First part is every single week I journal. Okay. Go back into a journal like this, paper journal, like you guys see here. And I go through basically like things that I ask myself, I ask myself a lot of questions. Okay. And I kind of want to share those with you because they're really important. And here's question number 1. They're like right here. Okay. So question number 1, was I consistent enough? Because I'm a big believer in the fact that consistent results require consistent actions. I want to track my consistent action. And I know that over time, I will get to consistent results. Okay. And question number 2, is it accomplish what I said I would? So on the goals I talked about before, the trader goal plan, did I accomplish what I said I would accomplish? Okay, it's either yes or no. It could be yes, it could be no. But you want to write this down. And then if you didn't implement what you were supposed to work on, find a way to make this work next week. Question below that is how would I rank my trading? Okay, and this is really powerful. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rank your trading? Is it like a 1, which is like really bad, a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? 10 is really good. Okay, it doesn't really matter your score. So here, for example, I was 7 out of 10. That was my score. And then the next question below is even more powerful. So the question I asked myself after It's okay. Let's say like this week I'm a 5. Okay, 5 is fine. Like who cares? It's totally fine. But how can I make this next week to be a 6? What can I do for this to be turning 6 next week? And that's only 1 point difference. But what is like one small change you can make to turn this better next week? You want to write this down every week, and then next week you might be a 6 because you work really hard to achieve your goals. That's your goal for the next week. You work really hard, you achieve it, and then next week you're 6. How can I make this 7? Okay, what can I implement? What can I add? Or next week you might be 8, whatever. You might move a little bit higher, and then try to find out the things you do that make you an 8, and just do more of those. Okay, and just repeat and repeat and repeat, and always have something to work on the next week. If you just go from week to week without much improvement in thought, there's a problem. There's an issue somewhere. But if you go from week to week, take a lesson every time, a goal every time, then things work. They grow exponentially, like higher and better. Okay, and that's kind of the overall picture. But here's something I do also for my trades. So I use a free tool, a free resource called Trello, Trello. I've talked about this before a few times. And basically, what I do with this is I track all my trades. I classify them between different parts. And here's what I do. So I do kind of, and here's going to be a little bit messy because we have like break even also. But just like, let's say this was a losing trade. Okay, so it's in a break even losing. Just for the sake of this example, to make it simple. So I classify my trade. So what is good winning, good losing, good? So good winning, good losing. We have good. Wait. So forget that part. So we have like, for example, good winning, good losing, bad winning, bad losing. Okay, that would be like the categories, and they're like here. You just don't see them. So I classify my trade. What is good winning? Because a good trade is not always winning. A bad trade is not always losing. You want to be able to classify them and be sure of like what trades are what. And I always write a comment. If you were to click on this one over here, for example, you would see a comment, okay, of what I did, what happened. And I would write a short sentence. Just after my trade is closed, I write a sentence that says, well, here's how the trade unfolded. This is what I did. What was that and that and that. And what makes it good. And here, what makes it not good? What makes it bad? Okay, I write this down here. And now the only thing I have to do after is to go back and in my trades, my journal, like take this to the bad column for bad break even, bad winning, bad losing, and think about, well, what do these trades have in common? What makes them bad? And usually it's only like 1 or 2 things we do all the time that makes our trade bad. For me, it might be like taking profit too early, or it might be not looking at the zone properly. So like you look at the zone, but you don't take the trade at the right zone, or you take the trade from like a zone you were not supposed to trade, not supposed to trade. Okay, those are the things I do myself sometimes. And so those are most of my bad trades. And if I can only eliminate that, my result will be much better. Like the profit in the end will be much better. And you want to be careful to be able to differentiate your good trades from your good winning trade from your good losing trade, your good winning from your bad winning. Okay, there might be a good trade, like a winning trade where you make money, but is this a good trade? Is it a really good trade or a bad trade? Okay, bad means you didn't respect your plan. Good means you respected your plan. And if we can classify this, because over time, like the good, the bad winning trade, which are like here, they quickly turn into losing trade. It doesn't take much time. They might work for a month or 2, but after some time, it turns to losing trade, and then you lose more money. So you want to be really careful to be able to classify this properly into different parts, and go back, review what you did, what you can implement, what you can remove, and then just do that, put it as a goal for next week or next month. Okay, so this is really important. And however you classify your trade, like I don't really mind. You can do whatever way you prefer. It doesn't matter to me as long as I have a way to do it. You could do this with a bunch of tools online, with Edgewonk, which is a software you can use also. But try to define an action step, try to define your review process, and execute that like daily until you start to see results. So every day, go back on your trades, your review process, review everything you did the past day, and take lessons from this and apply the next day. Okay, and do this until you kind of see an improvement. It's gonna take like for most people like 2-3 weeks until they start to see a big difference, and then you just go there from there. Instead of reviewing daily, you can review weekly if you want, but just do it every time. And then at some point you have a big improvement you've seen. Also, my profit before was like X amount, that's like double or triple, and I just removed the bad trade and I just focus on taking more of the good trades. Okay, and that's how you evolve as a trader. That's how you become better. Any question on this, guys? This is part number 4. Any question, comment below. Matom says, great tips. Thank you. Appreciate from South Africa. Awesome. Perfect. GD says, yeah, makes sense. Nice. I love this. You guys are really, really action focused like that. So perfect. Yeah. Cool. So guys, we'll go step number 5. And yeah, step number 5. Here we go with that. I call this smart automation. Now, my biggest goal for 2018 was about automation. How can I automate things? Because for a long time, I've been trading manually and doing all my work manually myself. And it works well, but you want to get to a point where it's automated more. Like, come on, like when 2018 now, you can find ways to automate things more, and that can make a big difference for your trading. Okay. So my biggest problem was kind of being traveling a lot and sometimes not having Wi-Fi, or like let's say you're on a plane, you can't take a trade, you're in a boat, you cannot take a trade, or you just want to travel and be free for real, like don't be tied to complete to a computer all the time. And you cannot really do this if you're a trader most of the time. You can manage a little bit for some time, but over time it always like keeps back, and you cannot always like you tend to miss trades too much. Okay. And so here's a basic like profile of what I trade a little bit. And this is only for the purpose of the example. I'll go quickly to that because you guys probably know what I trade already. But basically, there are three different parts you can trade in the market. Okay. You can trade what you see, and you can trade number rules. Okay. So clear numbers. And you can also trade fundamentals. Okay. So what you see might be, well, I see the chart, there's a Fibonacci level here. Fibonacci goes like this, or Fibonacci zone, or pivot point. Pivot point is number 2. And then you could see, so here number rule could be, oh, I trade with the MACD or the RSI. It's a number when it's above 70, let's say, I buy or sell, whatever you decide. Okay, that's number rule. And then the other part may be fundamentals. So I look at the news, this and that, the speeches, the releases, and I trade with that. Now for me, I only use like the first two, which is what I see in number rules. So easier to code for sure. But here's the thing. You cannot really code what you see. So you can only code number rules. You can only automate number rules for now. Unless we get to a point where it's really, really advanced and stuff. And we might get there at some point. But for now, you want to focus on like number rules, automate them more as much as you can. So here's an example of like how this works. So I might look at the chart and I say, oh, so I see Euro USD is at the support area right now. So 1.17 to 1.14, good support area. I want to buy this level, for example. Okay. And can I code this? No. Can I automate this? No. I have to look at the chart. So I might as well do it. And it doesn't take much time. But at the same time, I use a Bollinger Band to trade. Okay. And the Bollinger Band tells me, oh, so this is over, let's say, so this is below the middle band or the lower band. So it says sign at the market's like at an extreme point. Doesn't mean it's going to reverse. But I combine this with engulfing candle, for example, which you have over here. Okay. So breakout of the Bollinger Band, engulfing candle. And that will be for me a good trade. Okay, if I will enter. Okay. And so, so I cannot code what I see on the chart. I can only code number rules, which are the Bollinger Band and the candlestick. So I decided to code that. And that might be advanced for you. I'm not sure exactly where you guys are at. What if you've done some coding before, some algos before, some EAs, but comment below, let me know. And in any case, here's what I came up with. I don't have another system that's alerting me of my trade before it happens. So when we have the setup that we saw before, with the so you're using this one, and then I would get an alert on my phone telling me, oh, so this is the Bollinger Band reversal signal at this price, well, this close, and it happens. There's a setup there. Okay, so I can click on the chart, see this, and I try to combine this now with the zones I see in the market, so the zones I identify myself, and that was mine both. So I've automated pretty much all the part that was manual, which is like the zones, the numbers, the indicators, the candlesticks. I can code that. It's pretty simple to code. But the only part that I have to focus on now are the zones. And just doing that, getting the alerts, has saved me so much time now. Like, to a point that I don't even look at the chart in the day. Only in the morning once. Because I don't have to. When there's a trade happening, my setup that I look for, I get an alert. And I can only look at the chart. This is combined with, so is this in alignment with the zones I looked at before in the weekend? If yes, I take the trade. If no, I don't take the trade. And we have now, so here's an old version, but the new version has basically, I can show you guys if that works, but let me take my cell phone. And we'll do this over here. Let me know, guys, if it says useful, if you want to see this or not, but I'll show you an example, what I would get with that kind of thing. over here percent. So that might not be exactly clear, but here are the kind of alerts I get these days. They're a little bit more in depth. Okay, so I get all the like this is kind of a bug. We have like a bunch of decimals, but it doesn't matter. Like I still get the point. Like you get the take profit, stop loss, entry level, and all that stuff. So you can only like take this. And who here is, by the way, guys, tried to trade on your smartphone before? Comment below if you tried to trade with your smartphone before. I want to know. Did you try with your like cell phone, your app from the broker, or from MetaTrader? I think they have an app. Have you tried this before? Comment below. I want to know. And what's in the chat, because I do want to know about this. Sure. Cool. JD says yes to try to trade with the app. Okay. Nice. So JD, and for all the people watching anyway, so who here has been successful trading with a smartphone? Like find it really easy. Yeah. So GD says, yeah, my fingers were too big. But yeah, so I've traded this before in the past, trading with my cell phone. Okay. And you might think it works well, but you get to a point where you feel like it doesn't work because you don't have this whole picture of the chart. Like you cannot see a whole chart. You cannot see the zones. You cannot see anything you've put on your computer or anything of that. So it makes it really hard. But when you have these things on your phone, for example, these alerts, then you can know exactly like, oh, okay, I'll put this. I just have to enter the numbers that I get here on my platform. There's going to be ONDA, the app on my phone, or MetaTrader 4 on the phone. And once you only have the data to enter, it's much easier. So on the weekend, I'll go through all the pairs. And you guys might have seen this before. I'll go through all the pairs that I follow on my watch list. I'll go through those. I'll identify the levels that I want to trade. And then I'll take note every day. So this pair is at this level. Okay, I want to trade this pair. This pair is not. I don't want to trade it. Not interesting to trade. This pair is at the level. I want to trade this one also. I want to buy this one because it's at a support. I want to sell this one. It's at the resistance. And then I have this on the sheet or my cell phone in the day. And I just look at this and I can decide if I want to trade I get here or not on the alert. Okay. And that is really, really powerful. So I didn't look at the chart at all, like for the past like 2 months during the day. I only look in the morning once, and that's it. I'm done. I only look if I have to place a trade on, and if not, it's not useful. It's a waste of time. And again, so much time when you use automation the right way. Okay, so that's how I've been able to do it. And you could do it in many ways. It doesn't really matter what you prefer, but find a way to automate things that you do now. Okay, and you can skip parts and make this more efficient. It's worth it. It's really, really worth it. You're gonna save time and be a better trader overall. Okay. So here are the 5 tips summary. I want to go through those a little bit. We talk about all of them now. Comment below with your questions, guys. As always, I know JD had a few questions, I think, and we'll get to those in a minute. Anyway, yeah. So Karen also says, yeah, hard trading for my phone. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, okay, cool, perfect. So 5 tips summary. I want to go through those. We talk about power of relationship, strong trading strategy. We talked about planning and preparation for success. Also, continuous improvement, how you can improve every single week or month or year over and over again. And then smart automation. Okay, those are really, really powerful. And I recommend you guys like take note of like a few things you want to apply. And I want to remind you, like this is like really crucial. If you can take only one thing away from here, like Steve Jobs said that his mantra is about focus and simplicity. You cannot take everything and use it. Okay. If you try to apply everything we talk about today, it won't work. It's gonna be too hard, too much stuff, and you'll end up just being confused and frustrated, and that won't make you better. So you want to pick one thing you're gonna apply, one thing you will work on. Could be one shift you're gonna make, one thing that you'll do to become better, and pick that one thing and go back in a few weeks if you want. Rewatch this, rethink about your notes, look at your notes, think about what you've done, what you've written down, then pick one thing to implement again, and you just go on and on with that. And soon enough, in like 3-4 months, you might have a few things you've improved, you've applied, and you will be much better. It's gonna make a big difference. Okay, so you go with one thing first and move on after. We talk about mastery here, not like overwhelm. So guys, come below with your question. We'll go through your question in a few minutes. I know we had a few one already in chat, but if you have a couple of questions, comment below also. And if you have a question and you're watching the replay, comment below also anyway. I'll answer your question. And if you happen to not be able to log in the chat because you're not on YouTube and you don't have an account on YouTube, then You can shoot an email. I think it's gonna be fine. I'll go through his emails perhaps. Although I have like a bunch here that are a lot. But yeah, comment below with your question or send me an email, quick email from the email you got. If you cannot use the chat, and I'll answer those questions. Okay? Now, let me ask you a question, guys. So we talk about 5 things tonight, and like I'm all about kind of simplifying things and making sure that you have everything available for you at your disposal, so that like when you need stuff to become better, you have it there. And I find that like online, there's so many places that or so many courses that they kind of teach you only one aspect, but they forget the other aspect. And you think that like someone was saying, I think, yeah. So like JD was saying, so you think that only one part is more important. So of course, when you focus on strategies, and then that person says, "Oh, strategies be important. Focus on strategies." And then the other guy might say, "Oh, so I'm a mindset pro. Focus on mindset. You will be successful with the mindset." But if they forget that, like you need more. You need all the parts. You don't need only one. One is gonna make you average. Two is gonna make you okay. Three is gonna make you pro. Okay. If you focus only on one part, you're only gonna be like bad and average at most. So over the past few years, and this is a big project I have, I've been working on like solution to make this all in one place and better. So if you guys allow me, I would like to talk about this a little bit, and we'll go through that in a minute. I want to have your question. I know Karen, good question like that. We'll answer this a little bit after. So I want to go through that. If you guys allow me, I want to talk about this. It's a thing I have like in my heart because people, I think, all have what they need to succeed, and I really want to change this because there's too many crap online of people that only sell like half of the story and not the other half, which is like work on this also to make this better. So if you guys allow me, I want to go through this. The Disaster Academy, you might have heard this before or not. So this is the only program dedicated to help you achieve your trading goals while either traveling the world or living your best life, whatever you prefer. I like traveling. You might like being with your family or going at the pool, whatever you prefer, playing games, whatever. But important part here is that you need to do what you love. Okay, and that's what I'm about to help you achieve. So the focus I have is on providing a supportive environment because, as I said it before, there's way too many courses that kind of only sell you the course. They say, "Oh, follow this course will be good," and then you ask a question and they don't reply. It's like, take care of your thing, and they won't reply you. So I hate this principle, and we need to change this a little bit. So here's what I've been able to. So here's what I came up with for this, and we focus on the supportive environment all the time. Okay. So we have a basic course, and this is just only because like some people need a course to go through. Here's a framework I follow also to become successful. So we have this course called Power Trader with different modules. Lesson one is on your goal. Then you learn about the market, price action indicators, manage your trades, trading strategy, execution, trading success, confidence, invest techniques. This is only to get you to the point where you get kind of able to trade properly and profitably. And then we move on. Then we move on to the interesting part. Okay. So in the academy, we have a couple of different courses, okay, to become profitable. And those have been proven. We have people in the academy that became successful. A few of my students, or so Alejandro is a good one. We also have, I believe, Brian, if I'm not mistaken. We have a few people there that become successful from these courses, from going through the process. And that makes a big difference. I think we also have another guy. So a bunch of people recently, actually. So that's awesome. Things about essentials, how to make this a business. Power trading, which we talked about before, trading strategy series. So what I trade, also here. We have few people develop strategy in the academy. So student, also myself, will put them here in the trading strategy series, and people can access them. Like things backlisted, the result also, and you can just use that if you want, or use it for inspiration if you want to. Okay. The ultimate day trader, which is a day trading course, you into that. Trading strategy playbook is what I trade, swing trading also. We have some advanced course on risk management and psychology, which are clearly what you need to become at the level where you're good with those topics, and they cover everything pretty much from what I've heard and seen, and use myself also. Okay, so we have now 7 expert courses to help you trade for your people, or just trade for yourself if you want. Like, you want to get to a point where you could pretty much do everything you want to do, which is might be trading for the people, might be trading for yourself, might be traveling. But when you get to that extreme point of like being able to do anything you want, then the result come and you can do exactly what you want. And that's what we want you guys exactly to be. Okay. And we used to do monthly mastermind calls. Now we do them bi-weekly because of the result people get. Like every month was good. People would get really good result, but every week is even better. Like we've seen the power of this where people like they just come for a few months in the academy and they do a few mastermind calls, and then they're successful just because we have other people talking with them and answering their questions, okay, and getting them tips and goals and things to work on for the next month. And like, yeah, so this is not, as you might expect, a call where like it's only me talking like we do now. Like, this is exceptional. I like to let other people talk because other people have like challenges, opinion, experiences, advice that they can share, and you share way more by talking to people in real life or on a call, like really talking, not just listening and writing, than by just being there and listening. Okay, so it's better if you can talk with people. That's why we do mastermind calls, open to all members of the academy, where we can talk, exchange ideas, and that's how you become better. All right. To now it's bi-weekly. We have some results guide and checklist like I share with you. So all the things we talk about, discipline tracker, all these things are in the academy. Also, there's a lot more, and we have also a group chat on Stride. I'll show you guys before after if you want. And we have a group chat there where people can talk, exchange ideas in the week, and that makes it way better. Okay, so if you have a question, like if you come to a point where you have a question during the week about the trade or a strategy or a question about backtesting, whatever you are into now, like it's good to have a place to ask a question, not like a forum where people are going to say stupid stuff, but a good place where you can talk with other people doing the same thing and people that have done it, perhaps, that can help you kind of go faster in the process. Like good people, they kind of learn, they apply, they grow. But really good people, they take the other people's advice and experiences and move forward with that. They can skip a lot of lessons and years with that. Okay, and of course much more. So some testimonial students. So Mike was almost profitable, I think. Elias has been there for a long time. He's a pro now, pretty much. So here's what this is for, and I've had this question a lot. So I've seen both cases where like beginning traders come in the academy, they get what they need, and they make things right from the start. They make things right from the start, and they're really good after that. And we also have people that have been struggling for like 3+ years, and they get breakthroughs because they never had this chance to talk with other people and really share what they go through. They kind of use the courses and stuff where you learn and at your own pace, but you don't get any support. And not having a support group makes a big difference. Like you cannot progress. But when you have that group, you move forward pretty fast. Okay, so both cases work, and we'll talk about more later, like who this is for and stuff. But so you might be thinking like with everything online, like I talked about before in 2018, like when I started to go to Meetup was 2015, now 2018, so like way later. But with all like this stuff online, you could pretty much figure out on your own. But I've seen people struggle with this, guys, and it's crazy. You could spend years reading books and watching videos and listening to podcasts and being confused because everybody out there has a different opinion. Okay, what most people need at this point is a support group, an accountability group where they can become better and learn, and that's exactly what to provide. Like, so for me, I've seen the difference between reading books, watching videos, and going to events and meeting people in person. Or on the phone is the same, like, but you just have to talk one-on-one with someone or in a group, and that makes all the difference. Okay, so that's exactly what we provide in the academy now. So what you're going to get is you get the academy, which is now increasing value because we have more calls and more support. I actually have one guy now doing all the support for the academy. So one of my past students, Alejandro, he's now doing all the work inside the academy to make sure to get all the support you need, all the tools you need, answering your question almost in real time. It's pretty fast on that. But we want to give you guys a lot of support, okay? And that's why it's worth that much. And so we want to add a few things to this. So first of all, for me, a long time, like backtesting something was really hard. Okay, I used to kind of take hours to backtest something. It would be really hard and really painful. And then, yeah, that's what I would do. So I would go on first tester 3 or 4, 3, yeah, 3, and I would go back and like see all the stuff in the chart and place trades and backtesting and get the data at the end. But that's long. So then I started to use this kind of template I created to be able to backtest with MetaTrader 4. You just like write down your rules, and we can help you with that. Alejandro now is really good at that, and myself also. To kind of write down your rules, what you're gonna do exactly, what you want to backtest. So here's an example of like code you would have, and then you just run this in MT4, and you get the result. Okay, that takes not like more than 2 minutes after you've done this. So you'll be able to, using the script template, plug into strategies in like minutes. It's really minute, like not more than that, not more than 5 minutes. And then start worrying about whether you have an edge or not, because you really test, you get your stats from several years in the past. It could be like 20 years if you want on some pairs, but you get the stats and you know whether you have an edge or not. If not, you just work on it and we'll help you do that. And then come up with your own methodology if you want. If you have an idea now, you want to test it quickly, That helps with that. It's really fast. And then developing mechanical, so non-subjective strategies, which is really powerful. For me, when I travel, when I'm not at the chart all the time, I prefer to have something more mechanical, where it's like, okay, do this, and that, and then you enter the trade. Okay, it's not like, oh, think about this, look at this, maybe. No, it's like clear cut mechanical, where you can just replicate wherever you are in the world, whatever you do. You could be with your family on the beach and place a trade because you know exactly your rules. You have your setup, your alerts, perhaps, and then you just put these on the platform. Okay, and it's gonna work even for non-coders for two things. First of all, because you don't need to code. Like it doesn't take much to learn how to place the indicators that you want to test that plugin or that script. And second of all, because we export, we can help you with that. So you have a question, post in the chat we have in the group, and we'll answer your question. We'll help you with that with no problem. Okay, it's pretty easy. And then so what you're going to get is the academy plus the script, total value of $4,345. And like for a long time myself, I've been thinking about what was my trading style, like the best thing I was supposed to trade. They all say online, like trade for your personality, but they don't tell you how and what exactly does that mean. So for a long time, I tried to kind of do it and try it out and see what I was best at. But I found out later on that there was a way to do this, okay, which we call a disc test. Now you could do this on your own; it's pretty simple, but look at the result is important. So you would take the test, you would get the result, and that helps us determine what style of trading you're best at. Are you best at day trading, swing trading? What kind of process you should have? Like for me, I'm very high in S. Okay, and S and C are going to mean that I like to have confirmation, I like to have confluence. I'll go like 1, 2, 3, 4 before placing a trade. It's going to be like 4 steps and then placing a trade. And this D and this I means I'm not that good at day trading. Okay, I would try day trade. I would be average, but not good. But swing trading, I have a big advantage here. Okay, so you need to figure out this out on your own. So we'll make you do a test, go through that, and then we'll do a call and determine whether you're good at day trading, swing trading, and what type of tools also. And yeah, time frame and the style you have also. Okay. So that's a big difference. So what you're going to get, you get the academy plus backtesting script from T4 plus the trader assessment and the call, which we'll do one-on-one, talk about your profile. And the whole value this of 4,544. One more thing is the trading metric spreadsheet. So big thing if you want to track your metrics, and we created like a sheet basically that has all the stats which you can track and stuff. It's on Excel. You can use it. Just plug your trade. You can like extract your stuff from MT4, use it there, and then you can extract your metrics. That is way easier to know exactly what you are seeing in the market and whether you can really have an edge, and even whether you can make it for a living or not. And we can see this from your stats pretty easily. And we'll also have a module on that which you get in the academy, telling you exactly what the metrics are, what you look for, what you aim for, what to track. And just if you use it this way, it's going to be really powerful. Okay, so we include this also. So you get the academy with this, plus the script, plus the assessment, plus the metrics spreadsheet. Total value of 4,829. And guys, like I want to be honest here, we had two choices with this. And for some reason, so choice number one is we could go as cheap as possible. Like still a small training for you guys to become better. Make this a small course that you can go through, and that's it. Okay, because we want to make it cheap so you can afford it really easily and go through it and get some result, which are not that high, that good. Choice number two we had. The second choice we had was we could dedicate more time, energy, resource, and to kind of guarantee your success by supporting you along the way, helping you move forward, getting you the support you need, doing calls with you, like getting you to like doing follow up with you to see what your progress, what your challenges are. And fortunately, I think because like most people take way one, like they sell courses online. That's cool. You can go through the course, but at the end, you really learn from that course. I took like so many courses where I'll just go through the course. I would do everything I was supposed to do, and then again, I would not get result because I would have a question, I could not email anyone, could not talk to anyone, or if I get an answer, it would be like really basic, where it's like, oh, just do this or don't think about this, and it's like, well, yeah, nice. So we want to make sure that we have more stuff for you, more resource, more time, more energy, more resource, yeah, to guarantee success. And that's the choice we made, of course, which means it's going to be more expensive. It's going to be more like a bigger price point, but understand that this is for your future, and that we'll make sure to help you out along the way. Okay. So what is this worth? Think about it. Like if you can reach your goals, and if you can also have the free the how do you say like if you have the peace of mind to be able to go do what you love, and understand that you have a process to be able to move forward, and that if you fall, you have somebody in a group, not only one person but a group to bring you back up. Like what is this worth? For me, it's worth a lot because I know if I fall, I have someone to back me up. Some coaches I hire, some mentors I have to make me move forward. Okay, but for you, think about it. See, if you have no one now, if we talk about the fact that your circle of influence or your relationship now are not that good traders, you might want to up it up a level, like put it up and bring it up a level, so you can get the result that people at a high level get. Most traders you talk to these days, they know the traders, like the professional ones. They have a social circle of traders, and that's exactly what we want to provide you guys in this academy. Okay, so what you get as a summary is the academy plus, and this is a lifetime membership, by the way. So lifetime, you get access to everything. We won't charge you for anything after that. It's a one-time payment. You get the script backtesting script, the assessment, the trading metric spreadsheet. Total value of $4,839. And we have a special one-time offer for you guys with all the bonuses we talk about for $497 today. And this is only for the webinar and a little bit after. Guess you guys might want to sign up today. And here's so if, I want to ask a few questions. So of course, you have a money back guarantee. Like I don't want you guys to pay ever something you're not satisfied. I really care about your result and the make sure you have what you need and what you want. So if you're not satisfied with the academy, we'll refund you within 14 days. Okay, no problem. And we want to make sure that you get the support you need and that you should get from other people. Okay, so no worries if you don't like it. If you don't like it, no worries. Just let me know and we'll refund you. Okay. Bonus. So for the first sign up today, I want to do something special. I want to offer a trading plan consultation. So we'll go through your trading plan together. Try to see what you have on your plan. You fill this out, this template with what you have right now. If you have nothing, we'll make sure that you help you build something solid. We'll go to you with that, and we'll make sure that you have everything at your disposal. Okay, for your trading plan. So some people, they like usually that's how people go. So they create a plan. It's not that good the first time. They have to tweak it, adjust it, and that's what I'm here to help for. Okay. So first 5 people only, because this takes time. It's like a 2-hour meeting every time, so it takes a lot of time for me. But I want to make sure you get it if you're the first 5 to sign up, because it's really useful. All right. And people ask sometimes, so what's the right time to join? I would say, guys, it doesn't really matter because this is a lifetime membership anyway. First of all, so whether you join now or like in 2 months, you will get more result now if you join earlier. Okay, and also keep in mind that there are no right path and there are no right point to join, because we can help you whatever path you are at right now. We want to understand where you are at now and what we can do to help, and that's going to be your plan, and we'll set goals with you on that, whatever level you are at right now. All right. And people ask, so what if I don't have time to get to that? Well, also it doesn't take much time, and if trading is part of your goals right now to master trading, you should make for it. If you don't have time to trade or to go into a program, I recommend you don't trade, and I recommend you kind of forget trading. But if you are serious about it and really committed, and keep in mind we only want to have people that are committed in that program. If not, it's boring. People don't interact, don't comment, don't help other people, they don't they don't like contribute to the community, and that's not cool. But if you're only committed people, then that helps a lot. And that's why we focus on having only committed people and people that actually have the time to dedicate to trading. And if it's important to you, you'll make the time at some point. You'll find a way to make the time. Could be after work, could be before work, in the morning, in the evening, whatever, at night. But you'll make the time, I'm sure. If it's not important, then you won't make the time. But that's fine. Then I wish you good luck if you don't have time, and that's fine. Is it guaranteed to work? Well, of course, like we cannot guarantee anything. But keep in mind that all the people that go through the program that finish it, they get the result. And they, like most people, will go through the whole thing. I can track who's done what, who's went through all the modules, and people who did that, they're all higher at a higher level than other people. Some guys are about to trade for other people now, but they went through all the module, all the part, and that's because of that, probably, okay? Because they've done the work. If you don't put in the work, you won't get result. But if you put in the work, I can almost guarantee you to get further ahead than you are now. Okay, does that make sense? It will, and will of course guide you along the way. So link is there to sign up. I didn't mention this to you guys, but you can sign up here. We have a link for a call if you want, but up to you. And so when can you expect to be profitable? Okay, people ask this all the time. Most people that I seen on the academy, to be honest, it took them about 2 months to be able to go live if they're not live yet. It took them 2 months to go live, and then from there, usually like their first 2 month or adaptation, then 4 months after they're pretty good. They're good to go to trade for profitably. Okay, that's all again like scaling up, and that's where having a community of people you can talk to is useful. Once you do increase, once you do this and that, and what you do if it doesn't work as you expected, go back to your community, ask them what happens, share your results, share your experiences, your challenges, and we'll help you move forward from there. Okay, we can give you exactly step by step instruction for you at this point in a group call. And can you show me what's inside the academy? If you guys want to see, comment below in the chat. I'll show you. I don't mind. Like it's not private, but you'll see exactly what's inside and what you can expect to see this. Before I kind of want to go through the next step before you join. So after you join, actually, look for an email with the special bonuses we talk about tonight. There's I think 4 of them. You can look for a bonus. You can look for an email for that. We'll send you this by email as soon as you sign up, or a few hours after, like maybe tomorrow morning at the latest. And then take the mastery approach. Try to go through the Forex trading, full-time Forex trading accelerated program, which is what I'll show you guys in a minute. This is a course about setting up your business properly to trade, and we'll just go through that first. It's going to be big. It's going to be a big chunk, but after you go after this, it's going to be really powerful, and the result will come after because you have your business set up, all the things you need to do to work on your plan, your goals, everything, your business plan, and things will work much better after. Okay, so just this course makes a big difference for people. Some people go through this and they become profitable because they have all the steps and all the outlines to become good. Some people take much time. That's why we have the group coaching calls and the group chat and the courses also outside. But if you just go through that, it's going to be a big change, a big difference, and it's going to help you move forward. And keep in mind, guys, our next mastermind call, because now they're every 2 weeks. Next one is on October 3rd. I'll show you also where to find them and stuff. But this is in like next week, I think. So it's pretty cool. If you guys join soon, that you get to the mastermind call next week, and we can start to ask questions where you are at and make a plan with you on the next mastermind call. Okay, does that make sense? So comment below with your question. I see there's a bunch of them in the chat. I'll answer those in a minute. So to recap, the special offer here is the academy plus bonuses. Total of $497. Total value of $4,939. And link is there to sign up. Okay. You'll see the details there. I think there might be a payment plan on the page if it's set up or not, but easy to sign up. Like you don't have any excuses at this point to not sign up, I believe. And if you really take it seriously, you find a way to sign up. Okay, no worries. So, guys, we'll do your question, and I want to show you after that the academy kind of interface, what it looks like. You just go here. There we go. Okay, so let's go to your question, guys. And I see a bunch in the chat. I'll just put this over here. So someone's asking, this is Karen, was asking, what's the best way to backtest on a low budget? The best way to backtest is your platform, whatever platform you have, MetaTrader 4, or you can use TradingView, which is not the best, but it's fine. But if you want to spend a little bit of money, I would get Stock Forex. It's pretty good. Or if you want to go more fast and even better, it's what we have in the academy. It's the script. Code this down and make this happen with your MT4. You back this automatically. It's going to take a few minutes, and it's just the best because first of all, you don't waste time, and second of all, you can just back this a lot and get the result faster. Okay, so I will go with that, Karen. Okay, we had a question about this was JD answered this. So what is the best, the most important? Start with strategy, mindset, or risk. To start with, I would start with actually mindset. Mindset first. Because once you have the mindset, the other things are easier and you have less chances of screwing up. If your mindset is wrong, then you have more chances of screwing up first, and the result would be tougher to achieve. Okay, so I will start with the mindset, and then strategy, I would say, and then risk at the end. Okay, but all like soon close to each other. That's how I would go about it. Awesome. Cool. Awesome, guys. I want to show you a little bit what the academy looks like. So if you are asking what it's about, let me share this over here. GDK, cool. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Nice. So let me show you guys over here. So here's what you're gonna get when you sign up to the academy. You get basically a login. This is where I'm logging on the website. Here's my name, and then here's like, don't think about the rest below. Just think about the academy. You guys like everything below also in the academy. We just go here. So here's the basic dashboard. You get all the courses we talk about over here below. You click on a course, you're going to be able to start the course. Okay. And you mark them all as complete when they're completed. Okay. Here's the Jacob. What's up, Jacob? And so that's it. We have the courses over here also. Here's the calendar for mastermind calls. So the next one on October 3rd. We have one on October 17th, November 7th, and November 21st. Okay. And mastermind call is pretty simple. You just click on this. Let me see. Yeah, click on this. The link's going to be right over here. Okay, that's the link. Sign up to the mastermind call. Or to join us. It's pretty simple. And you can join us there at the time. We'll be there to answer your question. And we have a few people every time, about like usually like less than 10, sometimes more. But it's good to have kind of small groups to talk and to exchange. We prefer that way anyway. That's why we do 2 a month now. Okay. Now, calendar's also here if you want. And we have over here the call recordings. So if you want to go back on a call we talked about, or it's like the past mastermind call, which was last week. Here it is. You can click on this. And you get access to the call. Okay, which we talk about. This one was about sports instance areas. We talked about that last week. Okay, so that's how this works. And I'll just show you an example on. Well, here are the bonus materials, the checklist, everything we talk about today. So discipline trackers there, training rules, one-page training plan, the workbook, gradation plan. This is really big. This is really useful. So how do you scale up and move forward? This is a really big thing that I got. Checklist, yeah, indicator checklist, chart pattern, whatever you want. Some bonus videos. So strong strategies we should talk about today. The market phase, the video price section, whatever you want. This is all there. This is like a bonus sections. There's a lot on the academy in other programs before, but it's just like a bonus that you can go through at your own pace, okay, to become better. All right. So all the courses are there. You can click on them. It's pretty simple. Here's this one. Okay, how to trade breakout, long-term plays, which I trade, multiple time frame, like I trade, all that stuff. So guys, all that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if that makes sense. If you want to see anything there, yeah, you get a full membership for $497 exactly. Karen, yeah, full membership. It's lifetime, nothing to pay after, and you're a member for life. Okay, that includes a mastermind call, the academy membership, everything we talk about. Okay, and the resource, everything. So that's all there. And I kind of want. I'm not sure if I should. I'm not sure if I show you guys the mastermind group we have. I might take a look. Let me see. Actually, I might have it open before that. Let me go over here. Stride. Do this on Stride, and I'll show you guys a little bit what that looks like. So Colin here was talking. Some people post their goals over here. It was, yeah, so mastermind goal was here. Samuel here posted his goal about trading that he wants to achieve. He was going on vacation now, has some deadline. That's pretty good. That's pretty useful. Some people share their trade setup and what they do, what they look for. I share here my backtest results from a pair. This guy shares his backtesting result, the looking streak he had, everything. So that's pretty useful. Like that's the stuff we talk about. So you guys wonder what we talk about. But you can just post here and ask the question at any time you want, and you'll get an answer in like a few minutes. Okay, so that's how things work. So let me go back on the slides over here. Ooh. There. Cool, guys. So we talk about this guaranteed to work. Yes, the academy. Yes, we talk about that. Offer here $497 for the whole package. Yes. And so any question you guys have, I'm here to answer. I have like a few minutes more.